Hi, today I'll show you some of my Ruko tools and how I use them. First of all, for reassembling, if we have an oval cylinder like this one, then to get the tailpiece off we will be needing a Torx T9 screwdriver, and it fits perfectly in the screws, and we just unscrew these two and then take the tailpiece off, and then we can put our follower in and take it apart. And to look at followers, there are two different sizes. There's the standard 13mm for all the 6-pin variations, and as well as the old 5-pinners. And to work with the 5-pinners with the security sleeve, there is an extra follower here, which is 14.2mm on the outside, 13 on the inside. So exactly the same dimensions as the security sleeve. So in order to cut these and put them back together, you fit this onto the remaining part of the plug, and it makes a completely flush line, and then you can push this in and out of the house without any means of problems. If you don't have this one, then you can see you have this kind of small ledge here, and that will snag all of your driver pins when you try to push this in position. So if you can't get this special follower, my suggestion would be to take a piece of shim and put it like this, and then use this to ramp your drivers up over the edge here. So emergency use, but it's useful if you don't have the right tools. So, but the right follower is the right thing to do. Next, while looking at the 5-pinners, we have this good old 5-pinners, and as you can see here, there's this clip around it, and it's very important that this clip is so closed up. Let's see if we can get it to focus, because otherwise the tailpiece will fall out, and if that happens, then you're stuck with a lock that won't rotate the locking mechanism, and you're locked out for good. So to get that off, first we take this ultra pointy pliers for clip removers, and we insert it here and expand a bit, just enough to get the tailpiece out. There we go. And once that is out, we can actually rotate this clip 90 degrees until it's down here, and then we can take the more powerful tools and insert it sideways and just push it and lift it off. You don't have to worry about bending this one. There's a trick when we put this back together that I'll show you in a minute. So now you can see there's actually this gap here between the core and the Bible. So we take our 14.2mm follower, insert it here and push, and there we go, perfectly disassembled and reassembled again. When you have to put this clip back on here, then as you can see, it can get bent in all kinds of directions, but it's not that big a problem. Basically all we do is we take a pipe grip, and then we crimp it so that it's nearly closed, and just force it into the groove. And once you have compressed it as far as you get, then you might notice that this key is really not turning nice now because the clip is bent. But all you have to do is give the plug a few taps on the back and it runs smoothly. That straightens out the clip again. So That's all there's to it. And then of course you align the opening and put the tailpiece back and crimp it all the way up so that it's locked in position. Next, we will be looking at the Euro cylinders. When we have a double Euro like this one, there's some magic again here that you need to know about. The thing is that these plugs up here are removable. And let me show you one. They look like this. And they can actually be punched out and reused. So that's the trick here. So to pin up this double Euro with a thumb turn on the inside and a regular cylinder on the outside, I have removed 6 outer plugs and the second plug on the inside, and there's a reason for that I'll show you when we get to that. First we take our empty core here and we insert it into the lock. See if we can get it in. Not very happy about it. Anyway, never mind. Just for show. And then we take a clip. Try to find one that's not too bendy. And here we have this one. This is the crimping tool for the clips on the Euro, because it's hard to get the pipe grips in to close these the right way. And we just use this one and it fits perfectly in, and the first clip is in position. And again we just press a bit to straighten the clip and it turns. Next we take our follower handle and insert that and in from the actuator, and then we insert the thumb turn to get these two to engage like that. There we go. And then we put the last clip on, and once again we use the magic tool to crimp this in position. There we go, all ready to pin up. The hole here, the second hole in the back, is to make sure that this one is not just spinning randomly, and to make sure that it always actually stays in the neutral position when you release it. There is a small ball bearing that I can just show you here from my brand new pinning tray that a friend of mine has created. You can see his TLDK, and here we have the ball bearing and a spring for the second chamber, and then we have our 6 pins lined up here with balanced key stack and the 6 springs and the 6 plugs for the cylinder side. And there are some important things about taking these plugs out that you should know about. First of all, never punch them in while the cylinder is in here. That will cause major problems. It'll block your core and you can throw the whole thing away. So don't do that, first of all. Second, do not put this on a flat surface and start pounding away, because that will flatten the brass, and it'll be impossible to fit the core back in. So an old trick that I learned many years ago is actually to take the housing of an old padlock, because the dimension of this one is basically the same as the outer dimension of the snowman, and then we can actually slide this one in here so it is supported around, and then we simply take a long 2mm punch and punch every single one of these down. So that's the trick to these double ones. And just to show the example, we can take pin number 6, make sure that it's facing down, and the driver for number 6, and the spring for number 6. Come on here, you little devil. There we go. And then we just put the key in to get everything to fall down. There we go. It should be working. Yes. And then we take our plug, put it in like this, and tap it in like that, and that's all there is to it. And then you just fill up the last 5. In the other side we dump the ball bearing into the hole, the powerful spring here, and the plug, and then when we get to the neutral position, it sort of snaps in to the thumb turn and it locks in position. So that's these tools. And of course we have the plug holder, very important when you're pinning up, so your plug won't rotate and all your key pins falling out. Next we have this special follower here, which has just like the slick style where you can use to remove the tail pieces from the industrial locks, because this one actually presses down on the little pin and unscrew at the same time. So very good little tool to have for that. Next, I think, what do we have to? We have the key measuring device to find the right pins, and what else do we need to look at? We should shims. Never buy shims. Buy something nice with an alarm like this. Cut open one side and you get 3 shims. Yeah, just in here. So just insert your tweezers and you can pull 2 or 3 shims out of each alarm.